Hey babes, Fairy Rave Godmother here, pulling up with some of the good that you need to hear right now. Virgo New Moon Edition, Black Moon Edition. Second time this month, August 2025, that we're having a new moon in the same month. Doesn't happen too often, but it does bring a little bit of an interesting energy to the mix. Everything is energy, right? The new moon in Virgo is squaring Uranus and Gemini. All of that Mercury energy. Mercury rules Virgo. Mercury also rules Gemini. And the moon, a couple days ago, conjunct Mercury briefly to bring some of that reflection energy. Mercury is the trickster archetype. A little bit of a can't quite get a wrap on this fellow type of energy. A changeling. Mercury is also communication. And I don't want to put out the impression that reflection, inner communication, is something that comes easy. Every time I do a video, I feel like I say reflect on, think about, what does it mean for you? It's all types of reflection. And it's not easy to be honest with yourself, to even know how to initiate a meaningful conversation with yourself. Because if you ain't talking with anybody, who's going to give you feedback? But the point of self-reflection is to know yourself, know your soul, against the backdrop of everything ever in your mind. And I think it's really important during this Virgo new moon to know how to edit those thoughts, clean those thoughts up, organize your thoughts in your self-reflection so that you can better say, oh, this is something I'm working on continually. Oh, this stuff doesn't even actually really belong to me and I've taken it on. Having a conversation with yourself about what it's like for you inside, so you know if you are in coherence with yourself, with your soul, with your authenticity. And that's really what the whole idea of having a practice is, to me. To know yourself, to be in coherence, in heart coherence. Once you kind of drop down, get out of the mind, get out of the mercurial tendencies, we can drop a little bit more into the heart, into love and compassion and all of these incredible experiences or states of being once we're out of the mind that is really tripping us up. The moon and the sun, we're kind of doing like a little two-step. The moon moved into Virgo and then the sun caught up. Sun went from Leo into Virgo, and the new moon happened late Friday night. But for me, I felt a little like, ooh, a little jolt. And definitely a rush of energy. But more importantly, it was that feeling of shift. Like, oh, okay. Something shook the field, the energetic field. Something moved in the energy, in the waves that I'm moving in. And I feel that now too. The new moon is called the dark moon. It's the phase where we don't see the light of the moon, but really it's the light of the sun reflecting off the moon. It initiates a new lunar cycle. So that on top of the black moon makes me feel like this is some extra good dirt, some extra good space, a new page to leave impressions on. You can attribute what you will, the extra flavor. It's like a double chocolate, double dark, double shot, doubled up energetically. That experience of vastness, of new, of a cycle turning. Again, not necessarily something astrological, astronomical. No, it's human. It's human because humans made the calendar to follow, and now by the way that the celestial bodies were moving, and in 1 month we have this second occurrence of a new moon. That's all it is. But there's something to that accrued energy in the body of thought, because it's also what we work with when we talk about, or when I'm referring to, the collective. So maybe sometimes when you're listening to an astrological forecast and you don't really resonate with what is being described on an individual level, you might be able to see it around you. Either way, reflection is fantastic to start to develop that relationship where you know, oh, this is mine and that is not mine. It's also the essence of Virgo season, discernment. Discernment and cleaning up, shaping boundaries, making rules, enforcing them through boundaries. And that might look like, my new rule is, when someone doesn't listen to me or what I'm expressing, rule is, we don't really mess with them anymore. The boundary is, if you're not hearing me, if I'm not getting your authentic self, then you don't get me. Virgo season is also often steeped in this lore we've created around self-care and getting affairs in order by nature of the Virgo archetype. But I think that sells us the experience short. Virgo is also the polarity of Pisces. So in 6 months ago, where we might have focused on the more spiritual nature of experience, now we're focusing on the more mundane, the human nature of experience. And I bring that up because that's where, when bundled with reflection and a self-care practice that serves your soul, that ignites your joy and your connection to yourself, your inner fire, that is the divine in the everyday. You are fundamentally divine, but we living it out on this third rock from the sun in a very, very ordinary way. Doesn't mean that this part of the year, this time, this season, we should eschew the more spiritual nature of our existence. Actually, the opposite. We honor it through doing these very human things. So wrap that up in a nice little bow and consider right here, right now, this moment. This new moon also kicks off, opens, initiates eclipse season. if we force, if we try to overly control, if we get stuck on details, we're missing the point. Reflection, very lightly, you go in and then you go out. Identify and write your story. Pull up, back it out. To disidentify with the story. Because during eclipse season, look, the universe, cosmos, telos, there's a whole other master grander plan that is going to flow through, and often flows through in eclipse seasons with events, occurrences, appearances that might seem a bit fated or can test you. So checking in, are you doing the work? Can you stay with your experience and reflection practices? And can you accept whatever comes through in the next few weeks? Can you just have a plan to not have a plan? Next week and into September, the energy might feel really intense or heavy, but you've got this, exactly as you are. You've got this. Practice your Virgoan nature, practice discernment. Allow the shifts and the bump to happen, and then discern when you need to walk away, when boundaries are really important, when you need to ground. This contact with Uranus and Gemini, the square that the new moon makes, for me, feels like, I think a lot of the ways that we care for ourselves are really just preparation as we're going and as we're evolving. We're our own golden brick road, building and building as we move along. And that's important because ultimately also we're growing, possibly raising consciousness levels, hopefully deepening in self-awareness. But we're also moving towards something greater in the collective experience. All this claptrap about new earth ascension, changes, Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini. There's a lot of good reasons to get flighty, to get lost in all the noise and in all of the energy, the intensity coming through. But this Virgo season, I wish you reminders to stay human, stay in the mundane. All right, well, maybe come and go. Because the human experience and how you tend to yourself and how you ground yourself is the container that you're building, is the shape and structure of the rules that you put in place so that you can craft community and relationships that honor you and encourage your authenticity and your practice. I hope that is insightful. What do you think? Drop me a comment. Let me know.